Hello, welcome to another show with a difference. We've got a crowded room here. Well, we've got several crowded rooms, if you like. It's who's behind the square-shaped windows in our sort of virtual studio. Well, we've managed to fit Paddy Kenny in one of them. Hi, Paddy. How are you doing?
Hi, thanks for that introduction.
All right, no problem. It'll get better
I'm
from
good,
here.
thank you. Yourself?
Yeah, I'm fine, thank you. And we had no trouble in fitting the sylph-like Sheffield United skipper, Billy Sharp, into another window. Hiya, Bill. How are you doing?
Afternoon, Alan. You okay?
Yeah, I'm fine, thank you. Sorry to keep you from the garden. And Leo, who's perfected the brilliant free kicks and tricks. We'll talk about that later. And a slightly different shaped window here, but we're talking about a flyweight boxer. And we're talking about Tommy Frank. Tommy, hello, how are you?
How you doing, Alan? You all right, mate?
I'm fine. Sheffield's own Tommy Frank, who's sort of got more to curse the coronavirus for than most of us. We all are. Everybody's standing on their heads at the moment. Everybody in this room, virtual room, has a reason for thinking, oh, get back to football. We need to get that football back. But Paddy, if I can come to you first of all, you're sort of using this moment to cram something else into your crowded life. A book, am I right?
Yeah, very interesting. It come about 6 months ago, a conversation with Danny. I do a bit of one-to-one goalkeeping coach. I've also got my own transport company and all, so I'm quite busy other than that. So it's been difficult trying to get time to meet up and put stuff together because it's quite a long process, as I didn't realise. And the little advantage coming from all this is we've had a lot of time on Skype and Zoom together and managed to smash out plenty of hours because we've really nothing else to do.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Can't believe it's took 6 months.
It's a pop-up one, Bill.
4-page
Plenty
book.
of pictures. It's called The Gloves Are Off. It's written with Danny Hall. You mentioned Danny Hall there for Vertical Editions. Billy, is that something down the line for you, the book?
A few people have mentioned it to me, yeah, but I think it's something that I'll maybe do after I've finished playing. Still a lot of chapters left to put in that book, I think. So hopefully I can continue playing a lot longer. But no, I'm looking forward to reading Paddy's book. Hopefully it's a lot better than Danny's. I know he's the one who's helped him. So no, I've been in the dressing room with Paddy for some of my career anyway, so I know a few bits, but I'd love to read the book and see what's in it as well.
Yeah, your story's far from finished. Paddy's story, there's going to be a lot of escapades and episodes in there. You'll know better than most, Bill. He's quite a character, isn't he?
Yeah, I think all goalkeepers are. I've learned that in my career. Deep down, he's top man. He'll say himself, we don't speak as much as we obviously did when we were at Sheffield United, but I know people who know him and he's vice versa. And whenever I'm on the phone to, I don't know, Morgs is a perfect example. Or I know he spoke to Jags in recent weeks as well. So he was a great goalkeeper, top man. And like I said, I'm looking forward to reading his book.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll talk a bit more about Sheffield United and the way you're coping with the situation at the moment after we brought Tommy Frank in. And I referred at the start to, potentially a shattered dream, although I know that he's looking on the positive side of this because, as boxing fans know, Tommy was poised to fight for a world title. He trained to perfection. It was due to go ahead, I think, on March the 27th, Tommy, against the Mexican champion Maximino Flores. It was going to be at Ponds Forge Arena. And then, as we all know, the lockdown came. So, just tell us how that felt at that time to see that dream sort of pushed into the future, hopefully into the future.
Yeah, it was just absolutely going, to be honest. It were all quite weird how it happened because we actually went out to Fuerteventura to train for a week. So this was like maybe first week in March. or maybe it's second week actually. And so we went out to train, and kind of when everyone were talking about this coronavirus, and we were all like, what's everyone on about here? We were just, we were just kind of brushing it off. And then we got over there, and Dennis Hobson, my manager, he were a bit sceptical of me actually going out. He were getting a bit worried about it. We were worried that we wouldn't be able to get back. But we said, no, I'm sure it'll be all right. I wanted a bit of sun, to be honest, just to break my training up a bit and get a bit of a tan. So we went out, we did a good week's training, but day by day, we were listening to the news back home, and it was just kind of getting a bit more serious day by day. So we actually only, if we left it a day later to get back, we wouldn't have got back. Would have been stuck there. We got back on the Friday, and then Saturday they shut all the airports in Spain. And then over that weekend, I was just kind of, the government weren't saying anything. I was just kind of thinking, God, I hope no bad happens here and fight gets, called off or anything. And then it were up until the Monday night, everything were all right. And then obviously the government made that announcement about, banning public gatherings. And I think one of the main things is obviously at boxing shows you need paramedics. And like the government said, them paramedics, they've obviously got to be in other places right now. So that were kind of the cherry on top, really. So just that absolutely guttering, to be honest. Trained so hard. Been working since Christmas. I've been working with Lee Ricketts. He's my the diet guy. He's got me down on my weight, and then 10 days before. It's all been for nothing, but the work's still in the bank. So hopefully, when everything gets sorted out, I can get a new date, and the fight's still on. So I've just got to be patient.
Indeed. Right, we'll come to that and the prospects for the fight a bit later, because we're in two parts here. James Gregg joins us in part two. Billy, just what was your gut reaction when the lockdown came? I think it was ahead of a game. You've got a game. You were planning for a game that weekend, and you're living a dream. You're pushing for Europe. You're in the team. You're scoring goals. Life is fantastic, and then suddenly, bang! Just what was that initial feeling like for you?
Yeah, I think like Tommy said, he didn't want it to happen, but it was like we were just waiting for it to happen. And obviously, when that Monday night came and the government put the lockdown on most things, to be honest. We knew that, it was leading up to the Newcastle game. I couldn't wait for that one. Paddy will tell you as well, it's an unbelievable stadium. It had been a great atmosphere, and I was buzzing for it. And obviously not to play that, and then for the league to get suspended we was all gutted. And it's something that we live for every day as sports people. We do something that we love, and the training and being in the dressing room is something that I'm really missing. And I'm one of them players who, I don't mind training, but I live for the games. But this situation has really made me miss the day in, day out of a footballer, in the changing room with the lads, and the banter and the preparation that goes into it. Like Tommy said about his fight, he's prepared all that time, and then it's come crashing down and he can't do it. But it's for the best, because we've got people who are putting their health and lives at risk at the minute, doing an amazing job, and hopefully they can keep doing that, and we get to the bottom of this. And then myself and like Tommy, he can stay prepared, and we'll then be able to get on with what we used to doing and what we love doing, and that's giving our all in our competitive sports.
Yeah, it's a mental exercise, I suppose, at the moment for all of us, more than anything. But you mentioned the NHS there, and we're also indebted, and we're also in awe of just what these frontline health people are doing. And I know that obviously you spent a good part of the time recently discussing how the game of football could help. I think captains were heavily involved in that, and you came to a statement a week or so ago about helping the NHS effort. Now, just how involved and how detailed was that process involving players wanting to help?
Yeah, it was in the pipeline a lot before. Obviously, Matt Hancock came out and gave the footballers stick, which footballers get stick anyway, and we'll probably still get stick after doing what we are doing, but that's not what we're bothered about. We're thick-skinned and we get on with things like that, but we're proud and happy to be donating. Like you said, the captains came together and went to our clubs respectively and asked the boys, and all our boys was in agreement to getting involved, and that made me proud as captain of this club to show that we're coming on board. And it's an unbelievable thing that it's going to, because like you say, the NHS, the frontline workers, the real heroes who are putting their health and lives at risk at the minute to help save other people, they're the ones in need, and we just want to show that that we did want to help. And it took a lot of planning, to be honest, and fair play to Jordan Henderson, his representatives, and every other captain. There's been a lot of Zoom calls and a lot of messages and calls, and then obviously to all the Premier League players, and obviously recently the England women's team have jumped on board as well, which is fantastic to see. So long may that continue to obviously helping the NHS out.
Yeah, Billy, just how annoying, and bring Paddy in on this as well, is it that there's this stereotype image of footballers of being self-centred, greedy, and yet the reality is, and I'm not just saying this because you guys are there, many players are very public-spirited indeed and give a lot of their time and money to charitable causes. Paddy, is it something that annoys you, this image?
Yeah, definitely. I remember when it were, whatever it were, a week or 10 days ago, when it were all happening, and it were just footballers. But there's other sports as well that create a lot of money for sports people. Obviously, you've got iron golfers, boxers, all things like that. And I never heard nothing about them, and it was just all focused on footballers. And I didn't think it was fair, to be, if I'm honest.
No. And Billy, you say you develop a thick skin, and you kind of shrug your shoulders. Oh, I've come to expect that. But it's got to needle you as well, surely.
It does, because things get put to footballers when they're the first people that people go to. I think he regrets his comments now, because obviously the fight backs from past players, current players, and just general public have gone back to him and said, yeah, footballers get paid, sports people, let's talk about it as a sports person, gets paid a lot of money, but we also give a lot of tax backs to the government, which we should do, because that's part and parcel of it. But like I said, it wasn't because Matt Hancock said the words that he said why footballers came and did this anyway. We wanted to show that we're together as players, and we wanted to show that we wanted to help the people who needed help most, and that is NHS and frontline. There's other issues with wage cuts and blah, 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 but that's not helping the NHS. So we was determined to help the people that was in need, and we're in the middle of doing that, and it's something that we can be proud of, and something that all the footballers are happy to do.
Yeah, absolutely, and applaud the effort. And do you know anybody within your friendship group, within your family even, that that has an NHS connection? Somebody who's out there in the front line every day? Paddy, Billy, do you have anybody like that in your life?
I think all three of us on here will. Sorry, go on, Paddy.
Yeah, go on. You're all right. Sorry.
No, I think all three of us will have connections. That's how many people you need in the front line NHS, and I'm sure Paddy and Tommy know people as well who are close to them. Yeah,
Paddy, you were speaking there.
Yeah, no, just obviously what Billy just said. Yeah, I've got a cousin who works in hospital in Halifax. I've got friends who their girlfriends and missuses all work on the front line. So I've got friends who are firefighters. So they're all in important positions and all doing an amazing job for everyone at the minute.
Yeah, Tommy, your view on that, and you can't begin to imagine what it feels like to go into work every day and face that real danger. I mean, it's not like going to war bullets, but it's almost as dangerous, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, my fiance Charlie, she's a British Airways air hostess, so obviously she's been impacted by this. She she can't. I mean, there's no flights till end of May, I think. But when she's back home, she picks up shifts at a care home. So she's been working, day and night at this care home. So she's an hard grafter, and I think she's obviously just trying to help, people who need it. I mean, she's not on the front line as in hospitals. I mean, you can only imagine the fight that they're having to have at this minute. So you just got to take your hat off to them.
Yeah, I mean, we keep saying it, but sport doesn't matter against the background of something so serious. And yet, Bill, it's the life for a lot of us, isn't it? It's people's lives and livelihoods. So sport does matter, and as an entertainment to bring it back, it's going to be a morale boost when football returns.
Yeah, definitely. Even if it's you can't be in the stadium or the arena or whatever it is, if it's just to be able to watch on TV, it's better than nothing. And hopefully when that time does come, it means that this COVID-19's on the way out and everybody's back to normal and to a healthy life. But certainly for the people who are involved in sport and people who are watching, it's going to be putting a lot of smiles on people's faces, and I'm sure the stadiums will be packed out with people, because you take it for granted until something like this happens. And hopefully in the next few weeks that we can start seeing the better for it, and we can get on with normal life and get back to obviously enjoying sport like we used to be seeing.
And I think everybody agrees the season needs to finish, doesn't it? You can't just finish it as it is. I know that you've got a vested interest in that, Bill. People will say you would say that, but it seems the only logical thing. Don't know whether you agree, Paddy.
No, it's got 100% got to finish. There's so many different scenarios on relegation, promotion. Obviously, teams getting into Europe. 100%'s got to finish. Whether they cram it into whatever 6, 7, 8 weeks, I think it is possible. And like Bill touched on there, behind closed doors, and as long as people can see it on television, I think everyone will get that little buzz back and bring a little bit of hope to everybody, because it's been a tough situation. And just touch on what Billy said then about, I just think when it does come back, and just life in general, we'll appreciate a lot more about everything, just being able to do things, go to shop without having to stand apart from each other and stuff like that. So yeah, I just think looking forward to it, and like I said, Bill said it'll be all done and dusted hopefully, and on its back end when football does return, and any sport really.
Yeah, I mean, and Bill, there's such a lot to look forward to at the moment. I dare say that sort of helps keep spirits up. But do you think the football itself is being given an opportunity to reassess, to maybe reset the button on the financial desperation that surrounds the game, and the kind of way that the clubs find themselves struggling to exist at some levels?
Definitely, yeah. The numbers that are thrown around for transfers, wages, sponsorships, TV deals, they're phenomenal amounts of money. And maybe it is time to look back at how it used to be. And everybody's seems to be in it for as much money as you can, which, yeah, you like to earn the money, but there's a lot of people who love doing this sport for the love of it. And it's now where the players are missing football, the fans are missing football. They're the most important people, the people who are participating in the sport and the people who are watching. Yeah, you need the TV companies to air it out to people, but there's no better feeling than going to an arena or a stadium and seeing it live. So yeah, maybe football clubs, TV companies, and they all need to probably, and organisations, the Football League organisations maybe need to sit down and have a reassess and look at future, because nobody expected this to happen. And obviously the football clubs are trying to run it as a business, and it's coming to a standstill at the minute where football clubs are struggling. But hopefully football and other sports don't get affected by it too much, and we can get back to the beautiful sport that we all love.
Indeed. Well, some long-term good may come as we stick in there. We just reached the end of part one. I don't know whether you can hang around for a few minutes in part two. I'd like to talk about Master Leo Sharp and his exploits in the garden, which Billy's Twitter followers already know about. Paddy, more in your book. Tommy, your world title prospects are not finished yet, and I know that attempts will go on to recreate that flyweight world title shot with the IBO at stake. So I hope you can join us, and all of you join us, along with James Gregg, who's going to round up the entire region sport and happenings during this very strange time. Rejoin us in 5 if you can. See you then.